Hey, Christy Mattoon here from Mind Rewire. Thank you so much for being here. It is a little bit early, and I've had this on my mind for a while actually, and so I'm trying to get this out in a way that makes sense, and I keep trying to make sense of it in my own head. So it's hard to talk about something that you can't make sense of yourself sometimes, and that happens a lot with this kind of stuff, I believe. So I want to try and make more sense of it while I'm saying this to see if I can get it out the way I'm thinking it. I have been in a practice of compassion for over 3 months at this point. And I wish I would have been logging all of this, because the journey started one night when I literally was calling on Yeshua, asking, teach me compassion. That was literally my words, was teach me compassion, because I don't get it. I don't understand this. In a world where we talk about love and we talk about all this unconditional love and all of these different things, for all the war and all the hate and all the anger to be going on, I'm just like speechless. I don't get it. I seriously don't understand it. I also don't believe I was modeled compassion. So I don't understand it on that level. I don't believe I was really modeled love, self-love, or how to love. So I don't get it on that level. So understand all these different components. And understand too, this has been years of making sense of my life. This has been years of trying to understand what happened, where it happened, why it happened, and then figuring out some of the pieces. Like, you don't really have to go there in order to change it if you focus on, basically what you want instead of what you don't want, right? It's pretty basic. The belief system itself makes a difference in your level of consciousness at the time, right? So it all changes as it all changes. The belief will change, your level of consciousness has to change, and then you shift and grow in this huge, huge manner. And so where I've come to is this level of compassion. It's a different level of consciousness for me. And I keep talking about it because I think the expanded consciousness is moving more into this direction as a general whole, right? We're all trying to reach into the same area. And so I always say, if it helps me, if it helps you, maybe it'll help somebody else. So who knows? So like, share, subscribe. I always forget to say that at the beginning, and I really don't always forget it, but it just popped into my head. So what happened recently was an incident going on with a family member. We have this crazy situation going on, and it's probably going on all over the planet. As parents age and things change, you have to kind of shift your own organization and your own structure to help take care of people. And when they're parents that were, it's a pretty rough sell, as far as my mom's concerned specifically, I had to learn how to be in compassion because of the situation, but not for the situation and not for the people involved in the situation. I had to learn compassion based on the vibration of compassion as a consciousness, if that makes sense. Your level of consciousness will help you make sense of this. If it doesn't make sense, it's okay. All right? It's totally okay. So in this level of compassion, I have to sit, and I have to be super aware, and I have to stay there, and I have to stay there, and I have to stay there. And what has started happening is my awareness of the awareness of compassion itself has grown. And I'm more aware when I'm not in it, and I just get really flustered. So I said something to one of my brothers the other day. I was totally out of my compassion place, and I said something that was just really rude and obtrusive. And although it was true, it wasn't nice. Probably didn't help him in his walk at all if he's trying to walk through some of this, or as he's trying to walk through some of this stuff. And so I reached out and I apologized, and I said, any negative energy that I threw your way, I delete it, I take it back, I neutralize it. I don't even know what I said to him, but it was something along those lines. And so I put that out there as quickly as I could after I realized what I had done in stepping away from my compassion. And so it happened again just yesterday, actually. I stepped away from my compassion. My head started going into the polarity of the situation with a young lady who's taken control of a lot of stuff. And just the way she's doing it. It's not the what she's done, it's the way she's gone about it has just been ugly. And keeping information or not sharing full information, short, snippy answers that just set people off. It just hasn't been nice. It hasn't been lovely. But do I react or do I go back to my compassion? And so that's been kind of my set point. Go back to your compassion. Go back to your compassion. And yesterday it showed up. I was way out of my compassion because my head was running wild and I was just like, going back and forth with some of this junk. Caught myself, tried to do some of the stuff that I do, ran it through the system, took it into brain coherence, got heart coherent to it, and still found myself going back to it. And I was like, what on earth? What's the underlying? Well, what showed up was Christ consciousness whispering in my ear, come back into your compassion, stare straight into my eyes, don't take your focus off of me, because the other situation that's going on is so dark and so ugly, and it's so hard to, and dark not meaning evil, it's just dark because of the way it's played out, right? The way everybody's interaction in it has played it out. And so coming back into this compassion, I'm like, okay, so, and what I heard was, if you want to get to your end goal, you have to stay in this level of compassion. And so I'm sitting there going, okay, what's the end goal? The end goal is that he gets his house, he gets his pension, he gets the stuff that he needs to survive and make his life, that my mom is taken care of in a manner that will support her and help her in the highest degree. And that would be like the end goal. And then I heard in the back of my head, that's not the end goal. The end goal is to level up your consciousness. If you're not in the level of compassion that will take you into the next level of consciousness, if you don't stay in it, right, sustain it, you have to sustain it to get into that next level of consciousness, to the next degree, to the next dimension, whatever, however you look at it or whatever you call it, however your understanding of it is. And I was like, wow, so the end goal that I'm thinking is the end goal, the compassion will touch and will aid, but the compassion itself carries me to a bigger end goal, right? What's the real prize? What's the real, there's always something else, isn't there? There's always something else. I'm just like, always something else. And so it's, if you realize, if you can understand this, if you can realize that those higher level vibrations, while they do support this plane of existence, they move into other realms also in a different way, right? They support and structure you moving up the level of consciousness, up the ladder of consciousness. And it's just interesting when you start recognizing that it's an up-leveling in multiple dimensions at that point. And I literally had to pull myself back in. I have a beautiful friend named Zarina. Who gets the name Zarina? I'm like, wow, what a gorgeous name. My beautiful friend Zarina, I had to call her last night and I was like, I need help with this one. And she worded some things for me that set me on a whole different trajectory. And that wording, I don't know, it put me back into my consciousness. It put me back into my compassion, more importantly. And I'm just like, all right, here I am, right? I am word. So this person who's doing all of this stuff is part of the consciousness. And in her doing what she's doing, she's helping me seal in that level of compassion that I need in order to make my next step. She's a benefit, not a hindrance. Even though, right, what's going on right now feels yucky, she's a benefit, not a hindrance, because it's helping me up-level my consciousness to move into the next realm. I hope this helps. I hope it made sense. If it helped you, please share it. It might help somebody else. This is on consciousness and compassion and how it's not what it appears. Nothing is what it appears. Gosh darn it, nothing is what it appears. If you can just always try and look through it instead of looking at it, you'll get a different perspective to start with. If you're just starting your awareness journey, keep going, even through some of the frustration and, I can't get it. If you word it the right way, word it with power, word it with energy, word it with feeling, it will start moving you up the ladder and moving you into next steps. I will talk more about this idea of wording. Zarina and I are actually going to talk about it on Instagram, and where she gets this, got this information from. And it's just such a huge blessing. It's been a gift. She's gifted me with it a few times, helping me word things, and we'll explain exactly what that means on this Instagram post, and then I'll share it here also. I bless you. I hope this helps, and comments below. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you again soon.